Here's my speaking outline. And then this is my visual aid.
Oh, and I'm Alex Inman. I'm Sarah's father.
How many of you have been to a pet store before and looked around at the cute puppies in the glass cages? Well, today I'm here to tell you about where most of those puppies are coming from, places called puppy mills. Mary Jo Diane's book, Animal Welfare, describes puppy mills as a high-volume, substandard dog breeding operation which sells purebred or mixed-breed dogs. These facilities mass-produce puppies and prioritize their profits over their animals' well-being. The conditions are shameful. I was first exposed to puppy mills when I was driving through a major city as a kid, and I saw advertisements to help stop them. I've always loved animals and was devastated to hear about the conditions a lot of our pets are experiencing. I want our nation to enforce stricter laws so that there are less dogs going through this in our country. I've been researching puppy mills in the United States, and I want to persuade you to believe that they should be illegal in this country. As explained by the Puppy Mill Project, currently in the United States, puppy mills are legal through the Animal Welfare Act, and as long as the breeder is licensed by the USDA. Puppy mills should be illegal because they are a form of animal cruelty, and the mass amount of pets coming from them makes them hard to stop. First, I will depict how and why puppy mills are a form of animal cruelty. According to the book Animal Welfare, puppy mills often consist of a warehouse where row after row and shelf after shelf, dogs are stacked in makeshift cages. They are cramped, and they are frequently hungry, sickly, and covered in feces from the puppies stacked above them. Here are a few. This is what you see in puppy stores, and here's what they're being raised in. A 2017 article from the Rolling Stone describes an investigation of a puppy mill from the Humane Society. The house looked normal from the outside, but upon entering the side yard, they noticed a powerful stench of feces, bleach, and mold. The house was caked with dog fur, and when they went down to the basement, they found stacks and rows of dogs in cages, bawling and crying on their hind legs. Some of the dogs' fur was so matted they couldn't even tell what breed they were. The dogs being used to breed in these facilities are also treated very cruelly. The Humane Society shares that mother dogs spend most of their lives cramped in cages, barely going outside, or with any personal attention, unless they are there to breed. When the mother or father dogs can no longer breed, they are often abandoned or killed. The book Animal Welfare expands on this by describing that the breeding stock animals are imprisoned in overcrowded, filthy cages, repetitively bred and sometimes even inbred. There's minimal veterinary care and lack of nutrition and food. Sometimes, in some cases, they've even found that mother dogs were eating their newborns because they were so hungry. Now I'm going to share how big of an issue this is in the United States and how many puppies are coming from these places. So there are an immense amount of puppies coming from puppy mills, and they are hard to shut down. According to the Humane Society, in the United States today, there are currently 194,000 dogs kept solely for breeding in these facilities, licensed by the USDA. There are 10,000 active puppy mills in the United States currently, and about 2 million puppies a year are being adopted from places where they originated from puppy mills. So puppy mills are legal in the United States as long as they comply with the Animal Welfare Act and the individual states' laws. Currently in the United States, there are 16 states with no laws addressing puppy mills. The state of Virginia, however, requires licensing and yearly inspections. But breeders violating the Animal Welfare Act are rarely punished and rarely get fined or their licenses revoked. And oftentimes, if they do get their licenses revoked, they are able to renew them in the future. Part of the reason this is being handled so poorly is due to the insufficient funding for the United States Department of Agriculture and their inspections. The Puppy Mill Project shares that nearly all puppies sold in pet stores come from puppy mills. So therefore, pet stores are essential for keeping puppy mills around. Puppies are shipped all over the country, and some can be forced to go 12 hours without food or water. They're confined in small spaces, and diseases are easily transmitted. Sometimes puppies do not survive the trip. The United States Department of Agriculture explains on their website the Animal Welfare Act, which was passed in 1966. The act applies to all states and sets standards for the humane care of animals. Facilities using regulated animals and for regulated purposes must provide animals with proper housing, sanitation, nutrition, water, vet care, and protect them from harsh weather or temperatures. However, the Puppy Mill Project shares an extensive list of what is left out of the Animal Welfare Act, which includes that there is no limit to the number of dogs on the premises, so puppy mills can have hundreds or thousands of dogs. Dogs may be kept in stacked cages, and a dog can be caged 24 hours a day for his or her entire life and only leave to be bred. These conditions left out allows puppy mills to operate so cheaply, produce so many puppies, and be able to run legally in the first place. There is no recent news about changes to the Animal Welfare Act or plans to amend it. Animal welfare addresses another issue, the difficulty of busing a puppy mill and the aftermath. Many of these shelters and organizations are left overwhelmed when they do bust a puppy mill because they find themselves with dozens of animals that need care, housing, and food. To put this into perspective, a rescue of about 50 dogs can cost $10,000 or more. According to an article from Issues and Controversies, Ohio has a reputation for being one of the worst states for puppy mills. A lot of breeders left other states after they increased their restrictions, and Ohio has been working on increasing their restrictions. However, it may not be so easy due to members of the voting committee being representatives from pet stores and have commercial breeding interests. In conclusion, puppy mills are facilities where dogs are bred to pet stores or on the internet. The conditions are horrible and the dogs are not treated properly. Puppy mills should be illegal because it's an act of animal cruelty, and the mass amount of people's pets coming from them makes them even harder to stop. To reiterate, there are currently 10,000 active puppy mills in the United States currently. 194,000 dogs are kept solely for breeding in these licensed facilities, and about 2 million puppies are sold each year that came from these puppy mills. You can help stop puppy mills by supporting your local animal shelter and adopting a dog from there, writing a letter to federal legislators about your concern for the treatment of these dogs and how you want it to be a priority in Congress. You can also simply inform those around you and spread awareness of the issue. Puppy mills are inhumane and an act of blatant cruelty that should be illegal for the entire United States and not just left to the states. As the famous Mohandas K. Gandhi once said, the greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated.